With 185 restaurants, 25 hotels, 12 casinos, and many more opening up every year around the globe, Hard Rock International, needless to say, is a big name. While most call the company rock and roll themed, I assure you it's more than just a theme. It's devotion. Devotion to the culture, history, and legacy of rock and roll. You are watching Business Flicks, and here we uncover the most fascinating stories from the world of business. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, then please do so by hitting that subscribe and bell button so that you never miss a video. Now, let's jump right into the 20 amazing facts behind Hard Rock. The first Hard Rock Cafe opened way back in 1971 in London. London back then was a melting pot for high-end fashion and rock music, but good hamburgers were something that the city did not offer. So two Americans named Peter Morton and Isaac Tigritt decided to open an American-style diner. Consequently, the first restaurant opened on the 14th of June 1971 at a location which once used to be a Rolls-Royce dealership and quickly became a hit. Even today, the location is in business and is more of a music museum that is visited by thousands of tourists. The founders had interesting family backgrounds. Peter Morton was the son of Arnie Morton, the man who helped Hugh Hefner build his Playboy empire and later started Morton's Steakhouse. On the other hand, Isaac Tigritt's father was also a rich man, and he made his millions by holding the patent to the Glub Glub plastic drinking ducks. In terms of rock and roll connections, Tigritt married Maureen Starkey, who happened to be Ringo Starr's ex-wife and often called her his most authentic piece of rock and roll memorabilia. Hard Rock's iconic logo was designed by legendary artist Alan Aldridge, whose artworks have appeared on numerous album covers and sci-fi books throughout the 60s and 70s. The logo was inspired from Chevrolet's logo. The colors, however, were refined to red and yellow. The company's t-shirt business was born by accident. In 1973, the restaurant sponsored a local soccer team and their jerseys bore the Hard Rock logo. The leftover t-shirts were given to loyal customers who happily wore it around town. The t-shirts were desired by fans and customers, and requests for them began to pour in, and thus the t-shirt business began. It is estimated that in a year Hard Rock hosts about 15,000 live performances worldwide, but what's amazing is that this tradition was kicked off by none other than Paul McCartney and the Wings when they performed at the London restaurant in 1973. Singer Carole King is another die-hard fan of the London restaurant, so much so that she even wrote a song in their praise. The song was named Hard Rock Cafe and featured in her 1977 album Simple Things. Hard Rock's first ever memorabilia was given to them by none other than Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton loved the London Hard Rock Cafe and was a regular there. It was the year of 1979 and Clapton brought in his red Fender Leader 2 guitar as a gift for Isaac Tigritt, but as Tigritt didn't play, Clapton suggested that the guitar be put on the wall near his favorite table. The management did so, and thus the Hard Rock Cafe got its first ever memorabilia. A week later, Pete Townshend from The Who donated his Gibson Les Paul with a note to the staff saying, "Mine's as good as his. Love, Pete." And thus, the memorabilia tradition was born. The company's current owners are the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida, which is a Native American group with a history tracing back to the 1500s. As far as the 21st century is concerned, the Seminoles are business tycoons that own multiple hotels and casinos even before acquiring the Hard Rock Company. They bought the company in 2007 from its previous owners for $965 million. The company's motto is "Love all, serve all," which comes from Tigritt's spiritual leader Satya Sai Baba. Most people wonder how the company acquires so much memorabilia and are they authentic? So let's answer your question. Jerry Fraze, is the company's head memorabilia hunter, and he says that he relies on auction houses and private collectors to acquire the memorabilia. Another way in which memorabilia is acquired is through local artists. Suppose a Hard Rock cafe were to open in a new city, then the company also accepts memorabilia donations from influential artists around the region so that it can incorporate the local vibe. As far as authenticity is concerned, Jerry Fraze says that they collect only authentic memorabilia. It's easy to trace guitars to their owners courtesy the serial numbers, but as far as other items are concerned, Jerry says they rely heavily on solid provenance and exhaustive pointers to trace the items to the owners. The task doesn't just end at buying the memorabilia. Jerry Fraze has a team of memorabilia designers that visit the property in which the new memorabilia are going to be installed. They understand the architecture of the property and the musical taste and history of the location. Initially, the designers start with larger pieces of memorabilia and position them relatively as per the flow. Once the larger pieces are in place, the smaller ones are positioned around them as storytellers. Now that the layouts are finalized, the items are framed and shipped back to the headquarters. From the headquarters, the framed memorabilia travels to the property and the design team works with installers to get the memorabilia up and running. This exhaustive process takes months, and the design team at any given moment might have to handle multiple such projects. With memorabilia hanging freely on the walls, it is often a target for thieves, but the most interesting robbery at the Hard Rock features the legendary Slash. In June 2007, Hard Rock Las Vegas held a ceremony honoring Slash, and in the ceremony, Slash presented Hard Rock with a guitar. Everyone was shocked when he confessed that he had stolen that guitar from Hard Rock Orlando and was now returning it. From guitar pins to pins commemorating bands and pop culture, the company has made nearly 44,000 of them. There's been a 55-acre music-themed amusement park called Hard Rock Park. Located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it took nearly $400 million to construct the amusement park, which opened in the April of 2008. In just 5 months, the park went bankrupt and shut down, but reopened under new owners in May of 2009 as Freestyle Music Park. Freestyle Music Park met the same fate and permanently shut down just after a few months. In June 2012, the company launched Hard Rock Records, which is an initiative that funds the production of artists' albums. These albums are released on digital platform as well as in physical form. Through this program, the artists retain the profits as well as ownership of their work, which is pretty cool. Apart from Hard Rock Records, Video Artist of the Month is another initiative by the company to promote lesser known but talented artists. It involves showcasing an artist's latest work on screens in Hard Rock cafes around the world. How many pieces of memorabilia does the company own? The company hasn't given us a number recently, but in late 2015, the company acquired its 80th piece of rock and roll memorabilia, and what a piece it was. The 24-carat gold leaf grand piano that belonged to Elvis. Rita Gilligan is a waitress that's been on the payroll since the very beginning. When the first restaurant was about to open in 1971, she had applied for the waitress's post. Morton took her interview and she told him, "I'm the best you're gonna get, so you'd better hire me." And with that, she got a high-five and the job. Almost 5 decades later, she is still with the company, not as a waitress, but as an ambassador. Hard Rock cafes have an affinity for fire breakouts. On many occasions, there have been fire breakouts at Hard Rock cafes, most notably at Phuket and Puerto Rico. A fire even broke out at the Holy Grail London Hard Rock in 2005, causing severe damage to the ground floor. 8 fire engines attended to the flames, but luckily no one was injured. A fire also completely destroyed Peter Morton's Hamptons mansion. Eric Clapton had kicked off the memorabilia tradition in 1979, and by 1980s the company had established itself as the mecca of rock and roll memorabilia. If one had to pick a year in which the company acquired some of its finest memorabilia, then that year would be 1986 at the Sotheby's auction. The company at this auction acquired a pair of glasses owned by John Lennon, Madonna's dress from Like a Virgin, Michael Jackson's red jacket from Beat It, and Jimi Hendrix's Flying V guitar. Thank you so much for watching. Please give us a like, share, and do let us know in the comments as to which business's story or facts would you like us to uncover next.